I called the bank to find out what was going on. And the bank told me to enter my 16-digit card number. I did that. They told me they had no record of my account. They had no record of my account. The bank that I've been with since I was a teenager told me they had no record of my account. So I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both banks told me they had no record of my account. So I called the bank. And the bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen. Both bank accounts have been frozen. The bank told me that my personal account, as well as the independent Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy account, have both been frozen.
Frederick Douglass was born in 1817 or 1818, and as we have alluded to, he was cared for by his grandmother for the first few years of his life. Isaac and Betsy Bailey were Frederick Douglass's grandparents, and they had several children, all girls. Their names were Jenny, Esther, Millie, Priscilla, and Harriet, who was Frederick's mother. Captain Anthony was the man who owned Betsy Bailey, and therefore all of her children were owned by Captain Anthony, despite the fact that Frederick Douglass's grandfather Isaac was free.
But slave records tell of the birth of Frederick Augustus to a slave named Harriet in February 1818.
He knew who his mother was, although she was a distant figure in his life. She lived on another plantation. He never really knew who his father was, although he came to believe that his father was definitely a white man and probably his master.
Hosea chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. What? My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou should be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, Yahweh, I will also forget thy children. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Call Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'Hashem Rakah HaKwadash, and double honor to the elders and apostles, the men of great millstone. And to the rest of the brethren on down, is teaching and preaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, Shalom Bayah Shah Dawada, and to Zakim and Akwat, that's out to repent, to so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who fathers go back to one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob Yasha Allah. Shalom to you, Mashmakah. And I read that scripture in Hosea 4 and 6 for a reason. Because why? Our people don't have the knowledge of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, and neither do they have knowledge of self. See? Because you see the individual crying about what the damn devils that did to his bank account, but then the thing that caught my ears was he said his account, his private account, is such and such whatever .com and .org or whatever this shit is. He said some Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey account. Do you not know who Frederick Douglass was? He was not our people. He was not our people. See? And that's the thing with these Edomites, what they did in the time when our people was on them plantations. They was even persecuting their own people. When they was going into the women of our nations, you know, it might have been a fine sister that they saw on the plantations, and they wanted to whore her out. They wanted to make her into their bed wench, and that's what they did. See? And you had a lot of tares being conceived. See? So he wasn't, and then one thing about them Edomites was they was actually persecuting their own offspring. But why? Because they got those, their genes are inferior to ours. So when they was going into some women of our nation and those children was coming out looking like us, what you think they did? They didn't look at that child as if that child was theirs, but although it was theirs, they actually looked at that child as if it was our people. No, it's your people. And they literally, because of the thing that they had to set up within their society, that if you didn't typically look like an Edomite, a typical Edomite, you weren't able to walk around in public and do the things that they would do because you didn't look like them. So they would even enslave their own people, put them on plantations and limit them to do the things, all because of how they looked. See, because Frederick Douglass was not our people. And why he was speaking about being an abolitionist and all that old shit is because why? Because he was suffering the suffering of his mother's people. But he wasn't our people. See? He wasn't our people. So if this individual know that, why he run around talking about, all you brothers want to be messing with these snow bunnies and all that shit. But here it is. You fucking with a damn snow bunny's child. You fucking with a damn Edomite's child. That's who Frederick Douglass was. He wasn't our people. His daddy was an Edomite. The same motherfucker that owned that owned Frederick Douglass' grandmother, and therefore owning his mother too before he sold them. Them motherfuckers used to went into her. That's how he was conceived. He was an Edomite. He wasn't nothing but a chocolate-covered Edomite. See? That's why I read that Hosea 4:6, because why? Our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. See? For lack of knowledge, man. And it don't make no sense. You telling brothers don't go into the snow bunnies and shit, but here it is. You talking about your channel, you got some online shit or some account, and you calling it the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey. Now Marcus Garvey was a Jake. He was an Israelite. But that motherfucker Frederick Douglass was not. See? So it's you Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey account. I tell you, these Jakes is through, man. These Jakes is finished, man. Don't got a clue, don't know a goddamn thing. See? But let's grab this one though. Let's grab this Psalms right quick. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense. Because what the devil do? Let's see. Let's go down to it. Psalms 37 and 35 is the point. Psalms 37 and 35. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. You know what a green bay tree look like? It grows up and wide. And that's what these Edomites have done. They have spread it, they have spread their seed, they spread it all wide. See? They was putting their seed everywhere. That's why you look at certain other nations. The Edomites going into them and having kids by them. And you looking at them, and they looking like these other nations, but they actually Edomites. See? All the Edomites get it, no matter what they look like. The Edomites get, even the Edomites that's getting it that look like our people. Your daddy Edomite, they getting it too. See? But what have these Edomites done? They have spread it themselves like a green bay tree all over the place. But I just thought that was very, very weird for this individual to be always talking about, about Jake's going into these snow bunnies and shit. But here it is, you talk about you got some account, Slocky, and you call it Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey account. Like, that don't make no damn sense. Once again, Frederick Douglass was not our people. He was just going to put it just like the rest of these Edomites nowadays. They complaining against their own people. Why? Because they suffering. They suffering behind the shit that their own people was establishing. See? So if they suffering for it, they'll complain and cry out against their own people. But if they not suffering behind it, they ain't gonna cry and complain. How many times have we been suffering about, when we was back in the day when they had our people on food stamps, and I remember as little kids, they used to give our people that shit, and they had bankrolls of $1 bills, $5 bills of food stamps and shit. And they used to mock and talk about us. But now look at Edomites right now. Look at Edomites right now. They running around got food stamps and shit. See? The very things that they once talked about us about, now they having to go to it and not having to receive those things. They need that aid. They need that help. See? So I'm just saying that's real hypocritical to me for an individual to be saying, calling some shit, some Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey account, but then at the same time, he telling brothers don't be messing with the snow bunnies. But here it is, you representing Edomite's offspring, Frederick Douglass. You saw what it said pertaining to that when I showed those few little articles pertaining to his grandmother. And now, the grandmother, she was a woman of our nation. His grandfather, meaning his mother's father, they was two Jakes that had her. See? But when they had her, she was gone in by Edomite. Edomite ran into her. And then what? After he ran into her and she had that baby, had Frederick Douglass, he was able to stay on that plantation, same plantation, with her mother, and be raised by her mother when she was sold off to another plantation 12 miles away. You see? And that's what these Edomites do. And he literally grew up on a plantation but it wasn't told to him. See? Because why? These Edomites, that was a shame for them. They didn't want to claim that. Yeah, that's my son right there. Nah, you would just be on the plantation as if you was one of our people. They would fuck over their own. Put your ass right on that plantation right along with us. See? But you see what it says right here. I have seen the wicked spreading in great power and spreading himself like a grain beet tree. As a matter of fact, let me grab this real quick. Before I grab this other one. I'm going to look at this spreading right quick. Spreading himself. Ara. It said to be bare, be nude, uncover, leave destitute, discover, empty, raise, pour out, to bear, empty, pour out, to make naked, bare of sexual offense, to pour out. It said to expose oneself, make oneself naked, pour oneself, spreading oneself. Okay. So just basically going into spreading oneself in that context, right? And let me see real quick. Let me see a Green Bay tree. Let me just look at that right quick. Green Bay tree. Azarach. And it says a native one rising from the soil, a man, native Israelites, of tree native to Yasharala. Well, we know what a Green Bay tree looks like. I should show it, but I ain't got to show it. It's just a tree that grows up and wide. See, and that's what these Edomites did. They didn't spread. Matter of fact, let me grab this real quick. Matthew 13. Just wanted to bring out something on that. Because Jake don't understand. But before I grab that, let's grab this real quick. Numbers 1. Numbers 1. Slocky. Numbers 1 and 18. Right? Let's start at 17. Numbers 1 and 17. And Moses and Aaron took these men which are expressed by their names, as they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees. Let's grab this pedigree first. Go into the Hebrew word yalad, which means your lineage, and they declared their pedigree, yalad. And it says what? Begat, gender, travail, to bear, bring forth a childbirth, distress, wicked, beget, to be born. See? You see what it says. You see what it says. To declare one's birth pedigree. Basically your lineage. Who you are as a people. Going back to it. And as they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, they declared their pedigrees, their lineage, after their families, by the house of their fathers according to their names, from 20 years old and upward by their posts. You see that? So your lineage, your identity, your ethnicity is determined by your father. See? So that Frederick Douglass, he was not our people. Because why? His father was an Edomite. And it don't matter who your mother is. See? And this is the problem with a lot of my people. You try to harping on the mother is, if your mother is, the mother is. No, you're not our people. Who cares? Because the devils have set up a system. If you go into those nigger women and your child come out, that child is a nigger. No, it's not. That's your damn child. And if you have your child because it don't look like you and it look like the people that you went into, and you had that child on the plantation, that's on you. See, you basically a goddamn two-time loser. You're a two-time loser. See, because I guarantee you, when we get the kingdom, any heathen women we go into and they bring forth our children, those children are going to be Israelites, and they're going to reap the benefits of the Israelites, the benefit that we're going to receive from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They ain't going to be on no plantation with no damn Edomites being persecuted like we're going to persecute these Edomites. They going to get to enjoy being who they are in the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Yahushua as an Israelite. They going to get to enjoy that. See? No matter how our children would look. See? But you see, the Edomites, they the wicked. See? They literally persecuted their own people, just like they do right now today. They persecuting their own people. They living it up, and they got their people homeless on the streets, ass the fuck out, just through. That's on them. You basically a two-time loser in your kingdom. And even including Frederick Douglass. So what if his mama was our people? So what? He wasn't our people. And he basically was just a two-time loser. He basically a two-time loser. It was the empire and the kingdom of his own people, and he wound up, he couldn't enjoy the fruit with his father. He couldn't enjoy the fruit of his father's labor. He had to suffer with it, suffer like his mother's people. See? But he was an Edomite too, because you go into it, what did he do? He married an Edomite woman. He married an Edomite woman and had children by Edomite women. And his offspring still walking around right now. Standing next to you Jakes and shit. Acting like they the same as you. No, they fucking Edomites, man. Right now today. I should have punched up a couple of them. But yeah, he got his offspring walking around right now today. See why? Because he was an Edomite. And he laid down with an Edomite and had children. He ain't do nothing but have little Edomites. That's all he did. Then you look at him and you'll see somewhat of our features in them. But so what? They still Edomites. See? But let me go grab that Matthew 13. Right? Let's go down to it. Because that's what these damn devils did, man. That's what these devils did. They sowed their seed among, let's just get straight to it. Let me see. Let's start at 24. It says what? Tares among the wheat. Another parable, Matthew 13 and 24, another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened to a man which sowed good seed in his field. But when men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. And what did he do? He went his way. He left seed behind and then he went his way. You ain't know where that motherfucker was at. He was gone. A damn vagabond roaming the earth. And what? But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared tares also. And when you look at the wheat and the tares, when they first started growing, they looked the same. You couldn't tell the difference between the two. They would look the same. But guess what? When it's time to reap, the tares don't look like the wheat no more. They look deformed where you would know that it's not wheat. And it says what? So the servant of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, did not thou sow good seed in the field? From whence then it had it tares? He said unto them, an enemy had done this. What? A who? A friend? No, an enemy had done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he answered, but he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Why? Because they would look similar to each other. You wouldn't be able to tell the tares from the wheat. Because they would look. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between a Jake, an Israelite man that went into an Edomite woman and had a child, whether male or female, and then an Edomite man that went into a woman of our nation and they had a child. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. Because why? They will predominantly look the same. Why? Because our genes outweighs these Edomite genes. So both that Edomite, that sister of our nation that had a child by that Edomite man, and that brother of our nation that put his seed into an Edomite woman, those two children will come out looking like each other. Predominantly looking like us because of what? That dominant gene that's in them. See? But only one is an Israelite. And that comes from the seed of the father, not the mother. So what it reads again, Matthew 13:29. But he said, Nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. But what he say? Let both grow until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. You see that? So no matter what you look like, you can look like us all you want. If you ain't our people, if your father's an Edomite and your mother is a sister, hey, your ass gonna get binded up in the bundles and burnt, man. You ain't gonna be saved just because you look like us. Your ass is gonna be destroyed right along with the rest of your damn people. See? And that's the same thing what he was. Hey, he was an Edomite. Two-time loser. Suffering within his father's kingdom because of why? Because of how he looked. See? That shows you that these motherfuckers, they unrighteous. These Edomites, they are unrighteous. They are wicked. See? They will persecute their own people, man. Their own motherfucking people. Because they some damn devils, man. Ain't nothing upright in them. See? What did that scripture say? In the land of uprightness, he would deal unjustly. See? They wicked as hell, man. What is it? What is that? Is that 26:10, if I'm not mistaken, man? Let me grab that real quick. Isaiah. Is that 26:10 or 20? Let me see. I think it's 10. Yeah. Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of Yahweh. They ain't gonna deal they ain't gonna deal right. They gonna deal unjustly. And that was an unjustly thing to be doing just because your offspring didn't look like you, because you're inferior to us. You was enslaving your own offspring. See? All because your offspring did not look like you. And then you Jakes gotta wise up. Just because somebody have feature or characteristics of you don't mean they you because they look like you. It's about the Israelites, man. Period, point blank. That's what it's about. You see? But let me go back, get some more of that real quick before I end it off. Matthew, right? Let's go down to it. Let's go down to it. Let's get it. Let me see. Yeah, I'll start here. Why not? Matthew 13:36 and read it out. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. That's the Israelites. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. See, Frederick Douglass, he was a child of the wicked one. The enemy that sold them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. The reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, And they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity. And what? And shall cast them into the furnace of fire. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So you see those tares right there? Those motherfucking tares? They're going to be cast into the fire and they're going to burn. They're not going to be saved because they look like us. See? You're going to be through. See? So these Edomites are finished, man. These Edomites are finished across the board. See? And our people, you better wake the fuck up and acknowledge you the Israelites and know who ain't your motherfucking people. If an Edomite man is going into the woman of your nation, that motherfucker is not your people. Whether male or female. And I'm ending it off there, giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Hashem, Shabbat Hashem, Racha HaKodash. Shalom, Yasharala. Shalom.